Hello, Sadler students. Today we're going to talk about camouflage and look through some pictures and work on seeing how good of an observer you can be. Because one of the skills needed for artists is the ability to be a good observer. If you can observe small details and the shape of things more carefully, you're going to draw them better. So we're going to look at some animals that have evolved or over time they've changed to find ways to blend in with their surroundings. This can let an animal hide from predators who might want to eat it, or it can help predator animals to be able to hide so that they can jump out and catch something to eat. And those markings are, of course, called camouflage. Now, in addition to animals using camouflage, humans like camouflage. We, of course, use it on our army uniforms and in disguising things to be a part of the environment. But also, there are some artists who have been fascinated with camouflage and use it in their work, especially in photography. And if you're looking at these, you can see people blending in to their surroundings in all three of these pictures. So your challenge will be that I'm going to let you see a picture, and then I'm going to ask you to find the animal or the person that's hiding in there. Every picture does have someone or some critter hiding in it. You should be looking in this picture right now to find a person. This is by Lynn Boulin. And if you haven't found the person yet, look near one of the tires of the front end loader. The closest tire, it almost looks like a see-through person is there. That is a person with face paint and a specially designed costume to let him blend in. And I thought this was one of his best works. It really was an incredible job on camouflage. All right, so here's our first animal challenge. Can you spot the critter here? As you're looking, you just look for subtle differences that define the edge of the animal. And the animal you're looking for is a tulip tree moth. If you haven't found it yet, I'm going to point to it now. Here's the edge of its white wing, and you see it looks very similar to the bark of the tree it's coming on, but my mouse is outlining it. All right, let's do the next one. I made a whole lot of these, so we're going to run through them relatively quickly. So you're looking for a different critter in this picture, and it will be of the part of the picture that's in focus where you can see the details. And if you're still looking and haven't figured out what you're looking for, it will be a snake. It's kind of disguised as a branch. If you haven't found it yet, here's the very tip end of its tail, which loops up and over a branch and out and around. And up here somewhere is this guy's head, I'm sure, although that's a little hard for me to see. Next one. Can you spot a critter in this picture? This picture has an owl trying to look like the bark of a tree. And if you haven't found him yet, he's right in the middle of the picture. He's got his eyes closed right now, which makes him really, really hard to find because using the eyes is a lot of how I find him. Here's his little closed eyes here and here, his beak, his ears, and now you can see where the owl is if you didn't spot him on your own. In this picture, hiding on one of the leaves, you will see a little creepy crawly caterpillar. It is one of the fuzziest caterpillars I've ever seen and is really a beautiful creature. He's got hairy, I don't know what you'd call these, antennae and things coming off of his body, and he really looks just like the leaf. All right, ready for the next one. So this is sort of a bonus picture. There are 3 different colors of the same hidden critter in this picture. If you're still not sure what you're looking for, he is called a leaf litter toad, and apparently they come in different hues. And you can see one in brown, one in gray, and one in kind of a red. They really do blend into the fall trees. Here is the reddish one. Here is the grayish one. And here is the yellow one. I hope you were able to find those little guys. The critter in this picture is very flat and hiding himself very well. It's called a wraparound spider, and if you look on the branch, there's a spot in the middle where you can spot his hairy legs and his head. It is completely flat. If you haven't found it yet, it's right in this area. Now we've gone underwater. So in this picture, you're looking for a little seahorse. It's called a Pygmy Sea Horse, and it looks a lot like the coral it's attached to. You're going to find it kind of front and center in the picture. Here he is, and there's his little eyeball right there. In this picture, there is a spider whose body is got kind of a mottled look, and it makes him blend in perfectly with gravel. Again, the animal's right in the middle of your picture. If you want to look for it before I show you on any of these pictures, you can always pause before I show it off. But this animal is right here in the middle. There's his head, there are some legs. They just barely show up. It almost looks like he's made of glass. So here we go. We have another critter. This one looks like an extra piece of a branch, but it's actually a moth. One of those things is a branch, one of them is a moth. If you look at the head of the moth, it looks a whole lot like a twig that has been snapped off. But here's his feathers hanging down, and there's his legs. Amazing how these critters have developed camouflage. Now this one was camouflage made by an artist. And at first you might just see a pile of newspapers on a desk. But if you look, you see the top of a person blended into them. And they're sitting on a chair that's been disguised to look like what's behind the table. And their legs even kind of blend into the floor. That one I believe is by Desiree. I can't remember her last name. She's a Dutch artist, and her name was noted on an earlier slide since I forgot it. Here's another one where you see a person hidden. Now you should be able to see a lady in a police uniform sitting and looking kind of bored, and a group of 5 people, I almost didn't see this little guy, headed up the stairs. But did you spot the person in the middle? Blending right into the stairs, you can find a person in the middle of the slide. This one is really hard to find. In this picture, there is a snow leopard, and I advise you to look for the eyes and the face. The animal is very small versus the size of the picture and very near the middle of the picture. If you want time to look on your own, pause it because I'm about to take my mouse around and point to her. She is right here as her face. That one does an incredible job of hiding. This is a fun one. I love the eyes on chameleons. So start by looking for an eyeball, and then look how well the chameleon has changed his colors to blend in with the plants he's sitting among. Just in case you're having trouble finding it, here's his funny eye. Now, this one took me a while to find as well. You wouldn't think a giraffe could hide, but there is a giraffe hiding in this picture. In fact, the giraffe is basically pretending to be one of the trees. I'm about to show it off to you. Look above my mouse, go straight up from the mouse, and you will find a giraffe blending into the trees. I also, when I see a parrot at the zoo, I don't think of them as able to blend in very well. But on this page, you see a parrot pretending to be a leaf. And its colorful little beak, well, it might as well just be one of the berries. This is not the parrot. But the colorful beak doesn't even show up too much when you're in such a bright forest. If you haven't found the parrot yet, he's near my mouse. I'm circling him now. Animals do an amazing job of hiding. And this guy is no exception. I believe he's a gecko. Yes, he is a gecko. He's fairly flat, and he looks just like the bark on the tree. Look up and down that little stem until you spot his eyes and maybe his toes to help you find him. My mouse is moving to the tip of his nose now. So start here, looking down the length of the limb. Some of the animals that hide are a little dangerous. So this is our second snake picture. It is a copperhead. This is one you can find in Oklahoma. And a lot of times we probably walk by them without knowing that they're even there because they can really look like leaves. This copperhead is kind of sitting on one of the rocks if you haven't spotted him yet. He's near the bottom of the picture. And you can pause it if you don't want me to show him to you because I'm about to show him to you. He is above my mouse, sitting right here on this rock, blending in like a leaf. These animals we don't have. This is an Impala. It's kind of like a deer if you want to know what you're looking for. And his brown body just lets him hide in the grass. You can probably do best, again, looking for some eyes and a face. And I'm about to show him off. Hopefully you found him. If not, you can pause for a second. Look straight up from my mouse. There we go. Here's the face of the Impala. And his body is over here, just blending into the grasses. Oh, here we have another one with a person. So this is a person reading a bunch of bills that are posted perhaps on the way into a subway, and they just look like part of it because their coat is made of the same sort of thing. Here we have, I believe this is a leopard, and she is hiding in the grasses. All you can see on this one is her spotty face. Leopards also do pretty well at hiding in trees. Are you ready to look for it? Have you found it? I'm about to show it off. Coming over to where my mouse is, going straight up. Here you find the leopard's face peering out and looking for what it might find for lunch next. Another with a person. At first, this picture might just look like it's got some wiggliness to it, but there's actually a person standing in the middle in front of the shelf of all those boxes of perhaps noodle dishes. I'm not really sure what those are, but that person really blends in right in the middle. In this one is not so hard to spot because the picture's close up on it, but you can at least see how a tiger's stripes help it blend into the grasses where it lives on the plains. The tall, thin grasses look a lot like tiger stripes so that they can hide to be able to hunt. The Bengal tiger. So if you are in grades kindergarten and second grade, you do not need to do anything else to earn credit for the lesson. If you would like to, of course, you can take some time and try to draw a camouflage animal. You could make one up, or you could draw one of the ones you've seen or one you know from somewhere else, but you're doing that for fun. If you are in grades 3 and 4, I need to hear from you so that I can give you credit, so that I know that you have watched this video or slideshow. I would like you to send me an email or a note on Schoology and just tell me which hidden animal was your favorite so that I know you watched it. If you're a little bit older, well, then your assignment has a little more thinking and typing. If you're in grades 5 through 8, I want you to look at these two images by Lou Boleyn, and I want you to think about how the artist used camouflage in the drawings. The artist was using it for more than hiding people. Sometimes you can make a statement by letting things blend in. So just write a sentence or two on how you think camouflage makes a statement in these pictures, and again, send that to me on either Schoology or email. I hope you all enjoyed looking at the pictures as much as I did, and I look forward to seeing you back at art next week.